How did you like the chocolate factory, Charlie?
You know this movie. You've seen it a dozen times. The Chocolate River, the Golden Tickets, the Little Orange Men, the poor boy who wins the whole factory. For 50 years, we've agreed on what it is. A sweet, strange children's fantasy about good kids, bad kids, and candy.
I'd like a bar of chocolate, please.
I believed that too, until I noticed one small detail hiding in plain sight. And once I saw it, I could never watch the movie the same way again.
Oh, the pressure will get him out. Terrific pressure is building up behind the blockage.
We were looking at the wrong main character.
Hey, you've got it! You've got the last golden ticket!
Start with the boy, Charlie Bucket, the freezing house, 4 grandparents in one bed, the paper route in the snow, the poorest, kindest kid in town. We spend 2 hours rooting for him. Here's the detail I'd missed for 40 years. It isn't called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Wonka scrumdiddlyumptious?
Whichever's the biggest.
Try a Wonka scrumdiddlyumptious.
That's the book. The movie quietly took Charlie's name off the door and put a different name there, Willy Wonka. Wait, why erase the hero from his own title?
Here's the money I made, Mother.
Oh, you save that for yourself, Charlie. Go buy a Wonka bar.
Unless Charlie was never the real mystery. The question was never, will the good boy win? We knew that at 9 years old. The real question is the man in the top hat. Who is he? And what is he actually doing in there? I've been watching the wrong character my entire life. And the moment you start watching Wonka instead of Charlie...
I asked them, why do you want me? And they said, because we saw Start the Revolution Without Me. That made us think about you as Willy Wonka.
The friendly Candyman starts to look like something else entirely. The golden tickets were never the prize. Remember the ticket hunt, the whole planet tearing open chocolate bars, and Charlie unwrapping that last bar in the shop, the gold catching the light underneath? Back then, the ticket was the whole prize.
The kids found the last golden ticket! Hold it up, Sonny!
Except that's not what the ticket does. It doesn't end anything. It opens a gate, and past that gate, something new begins. A tour with rules, warnings, a temptation waiting in every room. Wait, that's not a prize. That's an entrance exam. Watch Wonka during that tour.
A veterinarian in upstate New York. I'm a partner in a mixed animal practice. We do both pets, dogs, cats, but we also do...
He isn't celebrating with these kids. He's studying them. He's interviewing 5 finalists. And he isn't looking for a winner, he's looking for an heir. So those 5 children weren't lucky. If you were choosing the one person to inherit everything you'd built, would you leave it to 5 random chocolate bars?
The candy man can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good.
That wasn't coincidence, and it sent me looking a lot harder at who actually walked through that gate. Gene Wilder revealed the whole movie in 30 seconds. Picture Wonka's first entrance, the crowd at the gates. Out he comes, old, frail, limping on a cane. The cane catches in the cobblestones, he pitches forward and rolls into a somersault, springing up with that grin.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
As a kid, I just laughed. Then I learned why that scene exists, and it rewired the whole film for me.
He locked the gates and vanished completely.
Waiting to catch a glimpse of that legendary magician, Mr. Willy Wonka.
That entrance wasn't in the script. Gene Wilder invented it and refused to play Wonka unless he could do it exactly that way. His reason is the key to everything. He wanted that moment so that from then on, no one, not the children, not us, would ever know when Wonka was lying and when he was telling the truth.
2 days ago, Mother came up to me. This is in our country market.
Wait, sit with what that does to every scene after it. Every warning, every soft, no, stop, don't. Every sad little smile as a child disappears.
Don't ask me to do that one again, though.
I mean, he looks so formidable, that Zero Mostel, doesn't he? He's a frightening, huge, looming figure.
He was wonderful. You know,
You can't trust a single one. So ask yourself, right now, when Wonka tells a child to stop, does he actually mean it? Or is he waiting to see who ignores him? I'd felt that unease as a kid. I just never had a name for it.
That's what we want in life. We want to be that boy. We want to be Charlie who finds a golden ticket. We want to win at the end, but nicely.
Wonka was never a guide, he was an examiner, one who hid his true face before he said a word. And if the man was a test, I couldn't stop wondering about the very first thing he makes them do once they're inside. The contract nobody reads. Remember the contract? The second they step inside, Wonka hands each of them a document. It's enormous! A scroll of tiny, unreadable print that unrolls across the floor.
What about me, Grandpa?
Sign away, Charlie. We got nothing to lose.
Let's go in. Come on.
Patience.
And here's what every single one of them does with it. Nothing. They don't read a word. They squint, they shrug, and they sign. As a kid, it played like a throwaway gag, the fine print joke. Ha, move on.
Greetings to you, the lucky finder of this golden ticket from Mr. Willy Wonka. Present this ticket at the factory.
Wait, watch it as an adult and it stops being funny. Because look at what just happened. 5 people agreed to a set of rules they never bothered to understand inside the property of a man you already know you can't trust. They signed away something and not one of them knows what. Now watch Wonka in that moment. He doesn't explain it, he doesn't push it, he just lets them sign and quietly files it away.
I want to go in. Don't you dare stop me.
I'm only trying to help you, sweetheart.
Give me that pen. You're always making things difficult.
Here's the interpretation I can't shake. From that signature on, the test has already started. Wonka isn't going to chase anybody through his factory. He's simply going to watch to see which of these 5 actually respects the rules they all agreed to without reading.
Hey, Mike, do you think we might shut that thing off?
No, are you crazy?
He won't answer till the station break.
Mike, the country wants to hear from you. The world is waiting, Mike.
Can't you shut up? I'm busy. Boy, what a great show.
Every child is about to break that contract. The only question left is a strange one. Who's going to admit it? The factory was built to expose them.
And you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
Remember the chocolate room? That tiny door, then the whole world opening up. The river, the edible meadow, the candy trees. It felt like a reward. Then watch what happens in there and in every room after. The chocolate river sits directly in front of the one boy who can't stop eating. Which child do you think fails first? Augustus leans out, drinks, and falls in.
He can't swim.
There's no better time to learn.
There's his coat going up the pipe.
The next room catches the next child, and the next. Wait, that can't be coincidence 4 times in a row. This isn't a tour. Each space is cut to fit one child's weakness. Nothing in that factory was an accident. And watch Wonka through all of it. He never once looked surprised. He knew exactly what was coming.
Welcome to my chocolate factory. Would you come forward, please?
Which is the mystery that ended Act 1 for me. If the factory really was designed as a test, then those 5 children may never have been random in the first place. Every child was a human flaw in disguise. Line them up again. Augustus, Violet, Veruca, Mike, Charlie. As a kid, I saw 5 annoying personalities. As an adult, I saw the truth. Not one of them is a personality. Each is a single human weakness wearing a child's face. Augustus is gluttony. Violet is obsession. Veruca is entitlement. Mike is the boy hypnotized by a screen, which today feels less like a joke than a mirror. And Charlie is temptation, the good kid who can still be tempted.
And now, my dearest lady, it's time to say goodbye. No, don't speak.
Hold on to that one. Then came the detail that gave me chills. 5 children, 5 flaws, scattered across the entire world. And every ticket lands in the hands of the exact child who embodies it.
No messing about, no touching, no tasting, no telling.
No telling what?
You see, all of my most secret inventions are cooking and simmering in here.
Wait, that's statistically impossible, unless it was never chance. That wasn't random. Wonka didn't find 5 winners. He assembled a cast, the precise flaws he wanted to watch.
That's it. It's all over. The Wonka contest is all over. The 5th and final ticket has been found, and we've got a live report coming in directly now from Paraguay, South America.
So if he chose these children for their weaknesses, why does he just stand there and let them fail? Why does the most powerful man in the building never lift a hand to stop it? Why Wonka never stops them?
A community suddenly thrust into prominence by the unexpected discovery of the first Wonka golden ticket.
This is the question that broke the whole movie open for me. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
And after this contest is over, you'll be no different from the billions of others who didn't find one.
But I am different. I want it more than any of them.
Charlie, you'll get your chance.
Go back to the chocolate room. Augustus is at the river, drinking. Wonka sees him. Watch his face. Barely a flicker. He murmurs a flat, hollow, no, stop. don't, and does nothing. Augustus falls in. Now the gum. Wonka tells Violet not to chew it. She does. He watches her swell into a giant blueberry. He doesn't lunge. He doesn't pull it from her mouth. He lets it happen.
My dear friends, you are now about to enter the nerve center to the entire Wonka factory.
Veruca on the golden eggs. Mike at the machine. Every time one word from Wonka could stop the disaster. And every time he chooses silence. Wait, he could stop it. He just doesn't. At first I thought it was dark comedy. Then it hit me and it reframed everything. Wonka never stops them because a test only means something if you're free to fail.
Well, well, well. 2 naughty, nasty little children gone. 3 good, sweet little children left.
Think about what would happen if he locked every door and snatched every temptation away. Nobody would be tested at all. They'd just be tourists. The whole point is the choice. He sets the temptation down, says no, and steps back to see who they really are. So ask yourself, in that room, with no one stopping you, what would you have done? That's not cruelty, that's the design. A real test can't hold your hand. It has to let you fall.
If you ask the kids today, every 4.5 years I get a new generation. And I see when I'm walking down the street, their eyes light up. They saw Willy Wonka.
Which means there was only ever one way through this factory. Not by being perfect, by being free to fail and choosing not to. Which brings me straight to the child everyone remembers wrong. Charlie failed the test too. Remember the fizzy lifting drinks? Charlie and Grandpa Joe sneaking off, drinking the forbidden bottles, floating up toward that spinning fan.
I'm going to lie! Hey, Grandpa, I can't get down!
This is probably where some of you will disagree with me, but watch it again. Charlie doesn't pass the test. He fails it. He was told not to touch those drinks. He did. He broke the rule he just signed for, exactly like the other 4, and then hit it. That's why at the very end, Wonka turns to ice and tells him he's won nothing at all. So how does a rule breaker inherit everything? For years, that ending felt like a cheat to me, until I slowed the final scene all the way down.
So the factory's yours, Charlie. You can move in immediately.
And me?
Absolutely.
Watch it with me. The Office. Wonka has just crushed him. No prize, nothing. Grandpa Joe is shaking with rage. And on the desk sits the everlasting gobstopper, the one Slugworth begged Charlie to steal for a fortune. Every reason in the world to keep it. And here's the detail I'd never once thought about. Of all the candy in that factory, why that one?
And what a terrible country it is. Nothing but desolate wastes and fierce beasts. And the poor little Oompa Loompas were so small and helpless.
Every other treat in the building exists to be devoured. The river, the gum, the eggs, the wallpaper. The everlasting gobstopper is the only sweet that is never meant to be eaten. The one thing built to last, to be kept, not consumed. It's restraint in the shape of a candy. The room goes silent. Nobody is forcing him. Wonka isn't even looking at him like he expects a thing. And Charlie slides it back across the desk. He gives up the one temptation designed to be kept freely, when failing would have been so easy and no one would ever have known.
No one's going to pay for it, Charlie. I'm giving it up.
Come on, Dad. It's only 1 pipe a day.
When a loaf of bread looks like a banquet, I've no right buying tobacco.
Go on, Grandpa.
That's the whole test in a single gesture. Free to fail and choosing not to. He does the one thing no one else who signed that contract ever did. He breaks a rule and then owns it. Which is when I realized the movie had been spelling this out all along, out loud, 5 separate times, and I'd never once listened. The Oompa Loompas were the narrators. Remember the little orange men appearing the instant a child meets their doom? I laughed at them. Most adults tune them out. Then I actually listened to the words, and I felt a little stupid. Watch when they sing. Never at random, always the exact second a child falls. Augustus up the pipe, Violet blown up, Veruca down the chute, Mike shrunk to nothing. And every song does one job. It names the weakness and delivers the verdict. Greed, spoiling, gluttony, too much television. Wait, that's not a song, that's a closing statement. They aren't comic relief, they're a chorus, the device ancient Greek playwrights used, stepping forward after each downfall to tell the audience exactly what happened and why. And notice who never looks surprised while they sing. Wonka. He built the stage for it. The movie told us the answer 5 times, out loud. We were laughing too hard to hear it. Which left one last question. And it wasn't about the movie anymore. It was about the people who made it.
You're always making things difficult.
Who builds a children's film this way, and why? The author hated what they made. Remember Slugworth, the man in the shadows who corners each child with a whispered deal? Here's what stopped me. Slugworth isn't in the book. Roald Dahl, the man who created Charlie, never wrote him. Dahl adapted his own story, then watched a rewrite add the songs and Slugworth's tempting offer. The exact temptation Charlie passes at the end. He hated it. He disowned the film and refused to watch it. Wait, the author of the book couldn't stand the movie we all love? Here's why that matters. The thing Dahl hated most, that whispered temptation, is the one thing that turns a candy story into a moral test. Did the film, against its own author's will, accidentally become deeper than the book? I can't decide. And that's not even the strangest thing I found, because this was never really meant to be a movie at all. It was built to sell candy that never existed. Remember wanting a Wonka bar so badly you could taste it? Here's the irony. This movie wasn't born from art. It was funded as one giant commercial, built to sell a real Wonka chocolate bar. Except the candy failed. The bar the whole film existed to sell never reached a single shelf. Wait, so the product died and the movie about it lived?
You found the 5th golden ticket. May I introduce myself? Arthur Slugworth.
Nobody remembered a chocolate bar because there wasn't one. They remembered a story about temptation and character. A film built to sell candy is now loved for everything except the candy, because the chocolate never existed. And if you were an adult in that theater, I think it showed you a completely different film than it showed your kids. There was a second movie hiding for the adults. Remember the tunnel? The boat speeding up, the sickening images strobing across the walls, Wonka reciting something that sounds less like a poem than a threat. That terror was real. The child actors were never told how far Wilder would go. Some thought he was losing his mind. And watch Wonka in that boat, perfectly calm while everyone around him panics. That single shot is the whole character. None of it was an accident. The director built the film for 2 audiences at once. In the scene introducing Augustus, he framed a reporter so a set of stag antlers seemed to grow from the man's head. An old visual joke about a cheated on husband. A wink no child could catch. He admitted he staged it. Almost nobody noticed. Wait, if that joke hid in plain sight, how many others slipped past us? Sweet fantasy for the kids. Something darker for the adults beside them. Which is why it guards one last secret. It never tells you where any of this happens. The factory exists nowhere on Earth. Remember the town? Try right now to name the country it's in. You can't. The money, the accents, the streets, nothing lines up. That was deliberate. The director refused to set the film in America, England, anywhere you could point to on a map. He buried it in sound stages and chose surroundings you could never quite place. Wait, why erase the location of an entire movie? Because a moral test can't belong to one country. If the factory were clearly somewhere, it'd be a story about those people over there. Instead, it's nowhere, which means it's everywhere. It's not a place, it's a fable, with a gate any of us could be standing at. That's why every generation looks inside and sees itself. Which left me one scene short of the whole picture. The scene that almost never existed, and the one that finally said out loud what I'd been chasing the entire time. The ending was written in 3 minutes. Remember the glass elevator smashing up through the roof out into the sky above the city? The line Wonka says up there, the one people still quote 50 years later, almost never existed. The original ending was flat, Grandpa Joe shouting "Yippee!" as the elevator rose. The director hated it, stopped production, and reached the writer at a cabin in the Maine woods through a phone nailed to a tree. He gave him 3 minutes, and in 3 minutes the writer came back with it. Wonka warns Charlie not to forget what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he'd always wanted. He lived happily ever after. Wait, read that again. The reward was never the factory. The factory is a responsibility, a warning wrapped in gold. Getting everything you want isn't the end of the test. It's the beginning of the hardest one. And watch Wonka deliver that line with a smile you finally understand. He isn't handing Charlie a prize. He's handing him the same weight he's carried alone this entire time. That's the whole movie, in one line, scribbled in 3 minutes. And that's when I knew the title had been right all along. Nobody actually understood Willy Wonka. The verdict. So let me lay it all out. Every clue one at a time, the way it finally lined up for me. The title changed and pointed us at the wrong man. The tickets were never the prize, they were the door to an exam. The contract nobody read was the first test, and every one of them failed it. The rooms weren't attractions, they were traps, each cut to fit a different child. Wonka never stopped them because a test only counts if you're free to fail. Charlie wasn't perfect. He failed too, and won by giving back the one thing built to be kept. The songs weren't filler, they were the verdict, sung out loud 5 times. And the factory isn't anywhere on Earth because it was never a place at all. Lay every piece on the table and the conclusion becomes impossible to avoid. We didn't misunderstand one scene, we misunderstood the entire movie. Maybe that's why it still holds us more than 50 years later. Children see a magical candy factory, adults see a carefully built test of human nature. And maybe the greatest trick Wonka ever pulled wasn't fooling the children. It was convincing all of us that we were only ever watching a children's movie. So watch it again tonight. This time, you won't see the chocolate, you'll see the test, and you'll wonder how you ever missed it.